Deep inside the Appalachian Mountains, locals have repeated the same warning for generations. If you hear someone calling your name from the woods after dark, don't answer. In 2023, 4 college students entered those forests, hoping to film a horror documentary for the internet. But after midnight, strange whistles echoed through the trees. Voices began mimicking people they loved, and something tall and inhuman started watching them from the darkness. Only one of them ever came back alive. Across the eastern United States stretches one of the oldest mountain ranges on Earth, the Appalachian Mountains. Millions of acres of dense forest cover the region, spreading through states like West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina. To most people, the mountains are beautiful, peaceful, full of hiking trails, wildlife, and quiet towns hidden deep in the wilderness. But locals living near the Appalachian forests tell very different stories. Stories about strange voices calling from the woods at night. Stories about people vanishing without a trace after wandering too far from hiking trails. And stories about creatures that aren't supposed to exist. For generations, families living in the mountains have repeated the same warning. If you hear something calling your name from the forest after dark, no matter what it sounds like, don't answer. In the fall of 2023, 4 college friends traveled into the Appalachian Mountains, hoping to document local legends for a social media horror series. Only one of them came back, and according to police reports, the survivor refused to speak for nearly 3 weeks after being rescued. This story begins with 22-year-old Tyler Brooks, a film student from North Carolina. Tyler loved horror documentaries and online urban legends. Along with his friends Emma, Jake, and Luis, he planned to spend an entire weekend camping deep inside a remote area of Appalachian forest. The group wanted authentic footage, real fear, something viral for the internet. Locals in a nearby mountain town warned them repeatedly not to enter the woods after sunset. One old man sitting outside a gas station even stopped Tyler before they left town. "You kids hear voices out there?" he whispered nervously. "Keep walking." Tyler laughed awkwardly. "Voices?" The old man nodded slowly. "The woods mimic people." The group assumed it was just another creepy local legend. That evening, they drove several miles into the mountains before reaching an isolated hiking trail surrounded by endless forest. The deeper they traveled, the quieter the world became. No birds, no insects, nothing. Even the wind seemed strangely absent. Emma noticed it first. "Why is it so quiet?" Nobody answered. As night approached, the group finally set up camp near a small clearing surrounded by tall trees. Tyler filmed everything for their channel. The campfire crackled softly, while darkness swallowed the forest around them. At first, the trip felt normal. The friends joked around, told scary stories, laughed nervously. But around midnight, something changed. Jake suddenly froze while staring into the woods. "Did you hear that?" Everyone fell silent. Far away between the trees, someone whistled, a slow human whistle. Luis frowned. "There's no one else out here." Then the whistle came again, closer this time. Emma looked uncomfortable. Maybe another camper. But Tyler noticed something strange. The whistle sounded almost identical every single time, like a recording repeating itself. Then suddenly, a voice echoed softly through the darkness. "Tyler." Everyone froze instantly. The voice sounded exactly like Tyler's mother. Tyler stood up slowly. "What the hell?" The voice came again from deeper within the trees. "Tyler, help me." Emma grabbed his arm immediately. "Don't go out there." Fear crept across Tyler's face. "How does it sound like my mom?" Nobody answered. Then Jake whispered nervously, "I think we should leave." But before anyone could move, something heavy crashed loudly through the woods nearby. Branches snapped violently. Footsteps circled around the campsite. Large footsteps, too heavy to belong to a person. The group panicked. Tyler grabbed his flashlight and pointed it toward the trees. Nothing visible. Only darkness. Then suddenly, two pale, glowing eyes appeared between the woods, watching them. The eyes stood unnaturally high above the ground, at least 8 feet tall. Emma screamed. The creature vanished instantly into the darkness. The friends quickly retreated into their tents, while fear spread through the campsite. Hours passed. Nobody slept. Then, around 3 a.m., Lewis quietly whispered from outside Tyler's tent, "Guys." Tyler unzipped the tent carefully. Lewis stood frozen beside the fire, staring into the forest. "There's someone out there." Tyler looked carefully between the trees. A woman stood motionless in the darkness, barefoot, wearing an old white dress, her face hidden behind long black hair. "Ma'am?" Tyler called nervously. The woman didn't move, and slowly, her head tilted sideways unnaturally far. Jake stepped backward immediately. "Nope, absolutely not." Suddenly, the woman sprinted toward the campsite at impossible speed. The group screamed and ran through the forest in complete panic. Branches tore across their faces, while darkness swallowed the trail completely. Tyler became separated from the others within seconds. He stopped running only after realizing the forest had become completely silent again. No footsteps, no voices, nothing. Then Tyler heard Emma screaming somewhere nearby. "Tyler, help me." He turned toward the sound instinctively, then remembered the old man's warning. The woods mimic people. Tyler's breathing became shaky. The screams continued. "Closer now." "Tyler, please." Tears filled his eyes. It sounded exactly like Emma. Then another voice whispered directly beside him. Wrong direction. Tyler spun around violently. Nobody there, only trees. Then he noticed strange symbols carved into the bark surrounding him. Dozens of them. Old symbols, warnings, messages scratched desperately into the wood. "Don't follow the voices. It watches at night. Stay away from the trees." Fear overwhelmed Tyler completely. Suddenly his flashlight died. Darkness consumed the forest instantly. Then came the sound of footsteps circling him slowly. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Something large moved between the trees around him, breathing heavily. Tyler backed away in terror. Then lightning flashed across the sky. For one brief second, he saw it standing among the trees. Tall, thin, its arms impossibly long, its face pale and stretched unnaturally wide into a smile, and its eyes completely black. Tyler screamed and ran blindly through the forest, until finally collapsing near a roadside at sunrise. Police found him hours later, covered in cuts and barely able to speak. Search teams spent nearly 2 weeks searching for Emma, Jake, and Luis. None of them were ever found, but investigators discovered something disturbing near the abandoned campsite. Audio equipment still recording. Most of the footage was corrupted by static, but one section remained clear. It captured the group sitting around the campfire moments before they disappeared. Then, from somewhere deep in the forest, a voice whispered softly, "We finally found you." The recording ended with terrified screaming. To this day, hikers across the Appalachian Mountains continue reporting strange whistles, voices, and shadow figures watching from the woods after dark. And locals still repeat the same warning, passed down for generations. If you hear someone calling your name from deep in the forest, don't answer, because sometimes The thing calling you isn't human.